Hello, this is Kevin Benedict, Senior Analyst with Digital Transformation at Cognizant, reporting live this week from Oracle's Open World 2014. Hello, I'm Kevin Benedict, Senior Analyst for Digital Transformation here at Cognizant. We're at Oracle Open World here in 2014, and I have just the honor of speaking to Todd Fryburger. Thanks for being here.
Great to see you, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so you guys have enterprise mobility solution.
Correct.
Talk to us about what you can do for the Oracle crowd.
Well, you know, it's funny. I'm actually, I have a little history with Oracle. I was a former PeopleSoft exec, and actually I will say I was frontline of 555 days of when we tried to evade capture. But, you know, I think it's worked out well for Oracle and for the PeopleSoft folks. So it's good to see a lot of new faces here. Yeah, our value prop is all about how you take your existing enterprise applications, and keep in mind, you know, the average enterprise has 446 custom and bespoke applications supporting their business today. They also spent about $336 billion last year on those custom and bespoke packaged applications alone. And so the quandary is, how do you extend that out to mobile? And that's what StarMobile does, is we're able to take that existing investment in applications, extend it out to mobile faster, simpler, and at a lower price point than any solution on the planet. So we're talking to a lot of great customers here today about how we can help them in that journey.
So Todd, tell me, what's the process if somebody wanted to do work with StarMobile? What does that process look like?
Well, typically, most customers come to us with an idea of, I have this particular pain point, or I have this particular workflow that I need to be able to extend out to mobile workers because there's a good business case to be able to get that done. We usually then work with them, and one of the things that we offer our customers is a free trial. So there, what we do is we work with them to identify the workflow, what UI elements might be involved, how do we gain access to us, and once we have those elements, we're able to turn around a production mobile app for them within 3 to 5 days that they can deploy to as unlimited number of users for up to 30 days, so they can see how our platform enables them to do things simpler, faster, and lower cost. But moreover, we want to do that so it gets sticky, that hopefully we do our job well, and it's hard to pry a really good app out of a user's hands. And moreover, we want to propagate that so that we become more of a platform for them to mobilize a portfolio of applications. And then typically, a customer will buy on an a la carte basis, or they'll enter into an enterprise license agreement with us. So typically, our first encounter with them is, let's do a free trial, because quite frankly, in the mobile space today, too many people have had to make commitments to platforms that didn't work out for them and make really big investments in that up front. We think this is a try before you buy market. So that's usually how our customers start with us.
So try before you buy. So what are going to be some of the target business processes that you would look at?
It's all over the map. We do a lot of, one need that seems to be, constant is just basic workflow. So whether it's purchase order approvals, expense approvals, things of that nature, there still seems to be a need for those just basic constructs. But we have some really sophisticated use cases where we're working with one of the largest media companies in the world, where actually we're mobilizing the ability for their reporters to actually basically turn these devices into a mobile news studio. So the ability for them to take the picture of the plane crash, dictate speech to text into the device, be able to get that then out into the hands of the editor, compose the application, or compose the story and get it out in the hands of the onto the wire. This is now a mobile news studio. That's much different than trying to mobilize SAP or Oracle. We have other use cases that, again, we have lots of customers that are actually trying to mobilize what is a web front end to SharePoint that they're using as a content management system, and being able to get that out, because regrettably, Microsoft really doesn't have a good mobile story today. But we're even finding customers that have legacy green screens, and you wouldn't believe how many old 3270 and 5250 based applications there are out there, and we're able to mobilize those as well. So the use cases are all over the place. The verticals basically comprise the spectrum, but what I can say is that the need is vast.
Okay, so those that are watching that might be a bit skeptical and saying, that sounds wonderful. All of that sounds too good to be true. What is the secret sauce with StarMobile?
Well, so part of the secret sauce is our CTO, who's standing out at camera range here right now, Siva. But the secret sauce for StarMobile, it was created at Georgia Tech. And Raghupathi Sivakumar, our CTO, leads the Mobile Computing and Network Research Lab at Tech. It's one of the top such research labs in the world. And he had 2 PhD candidate students that started with this thesis: enterprise mobility costs too much and takes too much time. So they set about to solve that. And what they did is they created a core set of IP that solves that problem. So fundamentally what we do is, out of the cloud, we interrogate the existing application by going through the front door, not the back door. So we're able to dynamically extract the API, if you will, out of the face of the application. So once we get to the page view of whatever that is, we can decompose it into its fundamental data and workflow components. Bring that into the cloud where we have a very complex transformation engine that we front end with a visual editor that allows you to drag and drop from the as-is to the to-be, facsimile of the mobile device. That drives a whole set of scripting and rules around the transformation engine so that we're able to take those elements and rearrange them for consumption on the mobile device. And to the mobile device, what you get is a native mobile experience. And this whole transformation process happens in real time, imperceivable to the user. But the most important part is you're getting a native experience, whereas over here, most legacy applications are abhorrent on PCs to consume, much less on mobile.
Got it. And so then you need to build the logic behind those screens that you've been able to capture.
Actually, we're using the logic that already exists in the application. So that's one of the value propositions around StarMobile is you've already coded applications that support your business once. Why would you recreate them or facsimile that data logic and security on the mobile device? So our value prop is all about how do we transform these without making any changes to them. So we're leveraging that existing workflow logic and all the other elements. All our cloud is doing is we're basically applying a series of transformations. It uses a protocol called the Morph protocol. And so the Morph protocol actually has 5 patents that support this, and it is what governs all these types of transformations. For example, there's 12 different classes of these transformations. One transformation is called reduction. And let's say, for example, I'll pick on SAP. And SAP, I can do that, I guess, at an Oracle event, right? So in an SAP screen, they're renowned for having 52 fields. If usually your workflow is only entering 3 fields, why would you deliver 52 fields to the mobile device? So reduction is very simple. What pieces am I going to use? Which am I not? There's something that's called a federation, where you might query System A for a part number, take the result and query System B for a price lookup on that part number. So we can actually interact with 2 back-end systems that you might need 2 different windows or 2 different devices to interact with, bring them holistically together. But the ultimate transformation is taking UI that's optimized for PC or browser or even thick client and being able to transform that so this can be consumed in a native mobile experience on the device. That's what we do real time.
Very good. So is that where you're getting the lower total cost of ownership?
We are in a couple of things. One is the fact that you're not having to be invasive to the existing application. The other aspect of that is, hey, we're cloud, and cloud is relatively cheap in operating costs and other elements around that. But I think the real value prop comes back to the fact that people who have basic IT or admin skills can do this. You don't need exotic Objective-C skills, which, we're hiring a bunch of these, and those are 150K and above people if you can find them right now. So, the fact is it's a combination of no changes to the back end, coupled with the fact that people who have basic IT or admin skills can set up this dynamic transformation. The other is the ongoing TCO. Once you set this up, our technology is one that if there are changes to the back end, we're able to dynamically transform those changes to the mobile user 95% of the time without any intervention. So the ongoing support costs are nil. And at the end of the day, as opposed to most platforms, where if you spend $1 on platform, you might spend $3 on professional services to screw it in and support it and make it look good, you might spend a nickel on human capital to make StarMobile work. That's really where a lot of the savings and the speed comes from.
Got it. So what kind of applications are your sweet spot? Are they the big workflow engines? Are they service techs in the field? Or what would you identify as your sweet spot?
It truly could be anything. We have one customer that we're working with that is in the healthcare space that has mobile healthcare workers that need to be able to enter certifications into their remote HR system. We have the usual workflow type elements. As I mentioned, we have this one customer who's in the digital media space. The use cases are all over the map. And again, the back-end systems that we're transforming over the map. I mean, again, what we come back to is our ability to dynamically transform any application, any use case to any device, and also for any cloud environment. So, by nature, they're all over the map.
Very good. So when you're talking to a customer, do you have an ideal scenario, or do you really give them the full breadth, anything they can imagine?
Well, I will say, customers like success stories. So, sometimes we are able to, say, replicate successes that might be in the consumer product space or the oil and gas space or things of that nature. But, more often than not, most folks come to us almost as a blank canvas. There are certain learnings and certain prior experiences that we can lever to help economize the process. But most of the time, what we find is that, particularly on the CIO side of the house, they've had to inherit a myriad of orphan apps that were often built by the line of business, that there was no view for some type of standardization. Moreover, once they paid to get them built, hey, you take and support this, which means they really don't have a strategy around how to go do these things, and it takes them off dime of their ability to actually mobilize the true workflows that actually support their business. So usually we start with sitting down and understanding where do you want to go, what are your high priority needs, and then working from there. And again, it's all over the map in terms of what those priorities might be.
Got it. So I want to thank Todd Fryburger from StarMobile for joining us here today at Oracle's Open World.
Great to see you, buddy. Thanks.
Thanks.